Welcome to the Single Father Podcast. I am your host, Kendall Donaker. This podcast is dedicated for anyone out there who's dealing with mental health and fatherhood. You'll hear about my struggles, my defeats, my victories, my highs, my lows, my triumphs, my tribulations, and everything in between. I like to call this a collection of journal entries into my struggle and adapting to single fatherhood. Without further ado, let's take a look inside my journal, the Single Father Podcast. If you don't mind, for a quick moment, I'm just going to vent to you. This week, I wouldn't say it's been tough, but it's been a week. It's been a week. I've recently got promoted at my job and taking on a lot of responsibilities. And it's kind of hypocritical to say that, well, here's the deal. Part of my responsibilities is people to call me and, help basically I'm getting them through some of their issues at work where they can be more productive. But it requires a lot of, venting. And hey, I'm all for it. My whole podcast, my reasoning is to help people and allow them to vent to me. But when you're already having a hard week yourself, it's hard to take on someone else's luggage. When you already got your own monkey on your back, I don't want someone else's monkey on my back either, along with 5 other monkeys on my back. And of course, a bad analogy, but it's kind of what it is. I was already having a tough week, and people were just adding and adding and adding and giving me their luggage, per se. And hey, I'm here for it. I'm here to help, and I listened, and I gave my advice, and I gave them everything I could give them, and they felt better for it, and therefore I felt better helping them. And that was the benefit and the payout that I got from that. However, nonetheless, I still had a tough week. And it was even tougher to handle someone else's tough week. And I think that's some of the challenges that we can find with, allowing people to vent to us and allowing, you never know what someone's going through. So when you ask someone how their day is and they say good, maybe it's not good, and you want to hear them out and you want them to tell you the honest truth. And maybe you aren't prepared for the whole truth. Kind of like that old saying, you can't handle the truth. And it was interesting kind of discovering that about myself, listening to all of these people and hearing them. And not that I couldn't take it, but it was just like, it was a bit overwhelming. And you wonder, what do we do about that? What do we do when someone else's week is adding on to our week, per se? When someone else is giving us their monkey, right? Putting their monkey on our backs. And I thought about it for a while. But then I also thought, when I was listening to them, what I realized is I was not alone. I wasn't alone. Even though maybe our situations were a bit different, I wasn't alone in me having my own problems in my week. So yeah, I heard about Nancy's husband issues or Jeff's girlfriend issues or how, Claire's coffee wasn't hot enough or blah, blah, blah. And those are all made up names, by the way, just in case HR is listening to me. But, I heard all of it and I said, hey, I guess I'm not the only one having a hard week. Not that I wished it on them by any means, but I said, hey, I guess I'm not alone. And I think that's kind of what we want to hear when we're having a hard week, is that we're not alone. We're not going through it alone. Because, how many of us have had such a hard week, month, year, whatever, and said, am I alone in this? Am I just going through this alone? I feel alone. I don't have anyone to lean on. And it felt good that I gave those people someone to lean on, but it felt even better that I was able to lean on them knowing that I wasn't alone. That we all have tough weeks sometimes. And the best thing that we can do is just talk it out, vent, have someone available that you can call. And whether it's about a phone bill or gas prices or whatever the case may be, at least you have someone that you know you can call and will hear you out. However ridiculous you think your week may sound or your problems may be, at least you have someone there that you can call and that just can listen. Because isn't that something as well? How many times have we gave someone our woes and they gave us all this advice and things like that, but really you just wanted them to listen? I kind of didn't want you to say anything. I just wanted you to listen and say, I hear you. How beautiful is that when we just have someone there to say, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. You're heard. Mm-hmm. You're being listened to. That's pretty special. When you have someone that you know can say that to you. I mean, whew, does that mean a lot, you know? So, uh, yeah, in a weird way, my week got better because I knew I wasn't alone. So I challenge everyone out there. If you are feeling alone and you feel like you don't have anyone to lean on, find someone. Find someone that you can lean on and say, I'm going to call you. I might call you early in the morning. I might call you late in the afternoon. And you don't have to say anything or give me advice, but I'm going to call you. And I just want you to listen. And for that, I will in turn give you the same opportunity. You can call me, and I don't have to say anything. I can just listen. And I think that will make our lives so much better. Just venting and listening and creating a pack with each other. That's what this podcast is all about. VentPack. Being able to speak your mind to the people who will never leave you behind. So, thank you for allowing me to vent to you. Because you guys, the people who listen to me, you give me the opportunity to know that I am not alone. So thank you. In any case, I have an amazing guest on the show today. Her name is Noelle, and she is wonderful. She is an upcoming artist from Las Vegas. She is a songwriter, a singer, was a beautiful voice. She does a little that. She does a little this. She is phenomenal, and she's has a bright spirit to her. I recommend everyone check her out because when I was speaking to her, you could feel the authenticity in her voice. You could feel the professionalism and the the aspiration to be something great. And I just really admired that. She has the tenacity and the entrepreneurship to really be something special. And being from my hometown of Las Vegas, well, by hometown, I guess that, it depends what you mean. I was born in Michigan. I love Detroit because I was born there and I claim that. But I also lived in Vegas for a very long time, since, freshman year of high school. So what do you really call hometown? I think I'm going to call Vegas my hometown just because I lived here for that long. So, don't, it's my hometown. So she's from my hometown of Las Vegas, and I'm really proud of her. Most of all, I'm proud of who she is and who she's become and who she's going to be. And I don't want to say too much. I just want you guys to listen for yourself and get to know her, and hopefully she becomes someone that you check out and follow and listen to. And be influenced by, because I definitely was. So without further ado, let's vent. For anyone who doesn't know, just like tell the people about yourself.
So my name is Noelle Chiodo. I'm a pop singer-songwriter, born and raised in Las Vegas. Go Knights, go.
Of course.
I live in LA. I've had a few DJ features come out, one under Armada Music, and I've also had a song placed in a very popular show called Selling Sunset.
Nice. That's exciting.
All very exciting, honestly.
Oh, what got you into music?
So when I was I don't know. Honestly, it's just one of those things where it's like I loved music, even like as a toddler. It's just what I liked to do and sort of gravitated towards. But then
Hmm.
my mom put me in like a singing group looking after schooling when I was like 8, and then the passion just kept growing. And then before
Hmm.
I was like begging for piano lessons and getting involved in like musical theater and like praise bands, singing at church, and just doing like everything I could to do music because I just loved singing and then eventually writing and then teaching myself guitar. And it was just sort of like a domino thing that kept going. And I think when I was like 16, that's sort of when I decided, like, okay, like this is the career that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to try. I'm just going to do it.
Really? Okay.
It can happen.
So what? So you're saying around like 16 is where you got into it, or?
I mean, I was always like music was my thing, but 16 is really when I decided like this is the career that I want to have.
Okay.
Obviously, like you do so much like post songwriting and stuff, but like you can't really like start making like bigger moves
Right.
until you're like 17, 18. As far as like being able to like travel and like meet more people and write with people. Um, but yeah, it's been like a good ride so far. And I've been coming out to LA back and forth for the past few years, but
Yeah.
I sort of just made the decision in the beginning of the pandemic to like be based in LA.
Oh, what was that?
What was actually right before the pandemic when I made the decision, but then things got weird and janky, but I still ended up coming out. Just because like I don't know, a lot of people have different opinions on it. Some people think like you don't like have to be in like a big city like LA or Nashville or New York City.
Right.
Or which I agree. You don't. You could build traction from anywhere and still like reach the craziest goals. But like when you're out here, you just meet people everywhere. Like
Right.
everywhere you go. You could literally meet like an A&R for whatever record label here, or the manager for whatever artist. Like they're just like pumping gas or like running to get coffee. So I just wanted to be here so I could just be exposed to so many more people in the industry.
So who's like the coolest person you've met so far, just out and about?
I don't know. I've met a lot of cool people.
I guess it's a vague question, but like maybe like any celebrities or anything like that.
Um, Adam Sandler, but that was in Nashville.
Adam Sandler. He would. I feel like people see him everywhere. I always see on TikTok people just run into Adam Sandler. I feel like he's just out and about.
And then I think I went to a party and ran into, I don't know what his name is, or what their name is, but one of the members of Pentatonics, that singing group.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty sick. So you do
So,
meet, yeah,
yeah, you do. But then like also like I'm not, I mean, I know like celebrities and stuff, but sometimes I'm just like an airhead,
yeah,
thought like over my head.
yeah.
So like I'm sure like I've met people that like have more whatever behind them than like I even
Right.
realize.
To be honest, I mean, well, in truth, a lot of TikTok stars are bigger than celebrities these days. Like it's kind of, or I guess they are in a sense.
Well, they are. So yeah, I would say they are celebrities.
Yeah.
So definitely are.
So like, what high school did you go to? So you lived in Vegas. I went to Palo Verde.
Oh, cool. I went to Faith Lutheran.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, we were like neighbors.
Yeah, absolutely. So did you end up going to college at all or no?
I did go to college. I ended up just sort of fizzling out though because it wasn't working.
Right.
I tried making it work for um the longest time, but it just wasn't.
Yeah.
So
Well, it seems like music. What do you like more though? Do you like the songwriting aspect of it, or do you like DJing? Do you like singing? Like which kind of avenue is kind of like more of your like favorite?
I mean it started with singing, but I love writing.
Mm,
Like so much. And I love the people that I work with and I love just meeting with new people and working with new people and collaborating. It's pretty like magical. If you like think about like the actual making of a song, it literally comes from nowhere.
so where do you get your inspiration from?
um, it just depends. I mean, sometimes it's more of a people watching thing.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's obviously like my own experiences. I would say that like I am more of a like no, actually, that would be the opposite of that because I like writing from different perspectives too. It just depends because it depends who's in the room working with you too. It depends what
Mm,
everyone's sort of vibing with. Usually my process with songwriting is like we start with the title and
mm,
and we just end up like going with that, or someone will have like a one line idea where it's like, whoa, that's like a cool concept.
mm.
So
That's that sounds beautiful. I because so it you're saying it could be more of like your own personal experiences or writing from like a perspective of someone else. Yeah.
yeah, like I mean, I've had plenty of girlfriends like tell me about their personal experiences, whether it be in like their love life or like the phase of life that they're in.
Mm,
And like I will literally take what they say and turn that to a song from their perspective from like what they told me.
wow. So what's the process of like kind of making? Is it like it seems like anyone can just put out a rap song, but I think it takes real talent to just kind of put out like really good music. What's kind of your process on going through that? Like what in your opinion makes like a good song, and what's your process to kind of putting something out where you're like, okay, that's ready to be heard by the world?
Sometimes like I mean, as like an artist, like you never think that anything's 100% ready.
Right.
There's always like it could always be like better in some regard because it can always be better, you know?
Hmm.
But if you just waited for it to like, oh, like there's always something you could do to change it. If you kept that going, then you never release music.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. Sometimes you just like know, like, okay, like that's like the stopping place. Like I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. Um,
That's okay.
I think it's just like for me, it's like usually it's between like me and the producer working at that point. Usually like if I feel not sort of, because I won't put anything out if I feel like it's like almost there. Like you just
Right.
know when it's there, sort of.
Mm,
It's a feeling. Um, so when I have that feeling, then I'll express that to the producer that I'm working with or collaborating with. And if they're on the same page, then we know that's a good place. And then usually what I'll personally do is I'll send it off like a SoundCloud link or Dropbox link to
mm,
some of my friends, some of my family, but you know, like your family's your number one fan, so they're not gonna be honest with you.
right.
And then some of like other people that I work with that didn't have hands on that song and like get their opinions on it. Like, is there anything like you're wanting to hear, like don't like about it? Like, and like you want honesty. Because
Yeah.
obviously it has to come from the heart and like your passion. But when you
Right.
create songs, you're creating them for people. Like
Right.
you know, so
Absolutely.
and that's who you're giving it to.
So have you ever had someone tell you like, "Hey, I'm not really vibing with this one."
Oh yeah, like straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, like definitely. Like
Does that hurt your feelings? You're like, man, I like, have you ever like disagreed with them? You're like, oh, I think this is great. What are you talking about?
no, I mean one person's trash is another person's treasure.
Right.
It's like I don't take that stuff personal. And everybody likes different genres of music. You have to respect that. Like
Yeah.
like um I don't actually that'd be another freaking lie because I literally listen to everything. um but like if you're like I don't know. I'm very in like pop and like singer-songwriter. So it's like obviously if I have a friend that doesn't really listen to like a lot of like if she's not listening to like Dua Lipa, Lady Gaga, whatever ever Ed
Right.
Sheeran, then like obviously like she probably won't like my stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and like I respect that, but usually it's not just like, oh, I don't like this. Usually they'll be like, I don't like this because like I think the beat could be better. Like
Right.
I think you could be more danceable. So I
Mm.
appreciate that constructive criticism, but I've never disagreed.
But well, it's always nice to have people around you that will actually tell you the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
I, I remember so I was I was a little bit of the opposite of you. I remember I was going out one time and I had like I felt like the most perfect fit on, and my my friend was like, "Dude, you look terrible. Like, what are you like?" I was like, "Wow, I disagree," but I was,
Yeah.
I changed it up. I appreciated the criticism, so
Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
yeah, I was like, I thought this is it. It's my moment. But where do you pull some of your uh like I guess influences in between like with other artists? Like who's an artist that you listen to, you're like, ooh, I know if I listen to you, I can get that inspiration or I can get that idea of what I'm looking for next. I mean, you mentioned Dua Lipa. Is it people like her?
Um, when I first like going way back when I was like 8 years old, the
Yeah.
first artist I ever fell in love with was Joss Stone.
Mm,
She's I think she's British, but she's European R&B singer, very
mm,
soulful. Her inspirations and influences are like Etta James, Aretha Franklin, like, and she very much like has such a like that beautiful soulful voice. Her, and then I fell in love with like Christina Aguilera, and then once I started getting more into songwriting, Ed Sheeran, Julia Michaels, Taylor Swift.
mm,
There's new artists popping up every day that inspire me. For me, it's like it's so hard to pick specific influences because personally, like I go through waves where I just become like obsessed and locked in on an artist, like where are they from, like how did they get exposed, like what instruments do they play, what's their process? Just because it's all so fascinating how everyone's process and everyone's background and everyone's story in this industry is just drastically different. Um,
mm.
and that's like the coolest thing about it because it's such an untraditional industry. But gosh, Taylor Swift is definitely like always up there because she's a phenomenal writer and like insane businesswoman.
Yeah.
And Lady Gaga, if you watch videos of her playing piano, and it's just like,
No, she's dope.
in-
Absolutely.
yeah. And her just like her whole thing, everything is it's just so cool. She's just one of those people where it's like you can't take your eyes off of her when she's speaking, which is just fascinating. Um, who else? I grew up listening to like a lot of James Brown. James Brown,
Really?
It's a Man's World is one of my favorite songs. So I would
Really?
probably say him.
I would have not have guessed that.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite songs.
Mm.
And then Christina Aguilera, because she is one of my biggest influences that like inspire
Mm.
me to sing.
She has vocals for days. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, she's obviously great. So it kind of, I mean, you kind of touched on this, but there's so many artists like popping up all the time, like you said. So it kind of in this like millennial kind of Gen Z era,
Yeah.
like a lot of, I guess a lot of the key word kind of lately with different artists and content creators is just content. Like, how do you stay on top of like your content and making sure that you still are staying relevant to your fan base and reaching out to other people who may not be familiar as well?
So, okay. That was like two questions. How do you get up with content and like reaching out to new people that may not
Yeah.
be familiar with me? Okay. So with content, like honestly, I sort of took like a 3 to 6 month cleanse from like pushing out social media just because like I kind of had to regroup.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, like I've been doing this, like things have been working and there has been progression and they have grown, but like
Hmm.
it's clearly not working enough. Like something's got to switch up.
Right.
So I took a break and just like really reflected on like, what do I want my sound to be? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to represent? What do I want my socials to look like? Um, all very marketing questions.
Yeah. Very much.
But so, I never paused. I mean, my Instagram started growing when I was like 16, and I don't have
Mm.
like 100K or a million or anything. I have like 32,000. I
Uh-huh.
started getting traction on there when I was 16. And then when I started getting traction, I sort of just was like fleshing out content to keep more people coming and like keep people watching. Um,
It's funny you say that because 30K is clearly more than most, by the way. But go
yeah,
ahead.
I know, but like, like you go to these parties and like someone like me has like 3 million on TikTok
Right, right.
and like 1 million on Instagram. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of eyes on you.
That's how
Yeah,
people are going to get jobs lately. So how many followers do you have?
no, seriously though. And
uh,
what's the engagement rate?
yeah,
How
exactly.
many comments on average?
I'm gonna need you to prove it to me. Straight up.
You're gonna need some of your analytics.
Straight up. No, I mean, but that's kind of the thing, though. Is just I really admire that about you. First of all, I think you're hot musical wise, right? So
Oh, thanks.
yes, I had to say musical wise because I wanted to be clear. But I think you're great, and listening to a lot of your content is amazing. So I wouldn't worry about that. But it's very kind of inspiring to hear someone saying like, oh, okay, maybe I need to take a reflection on myself and see like what my sound is. I mean, do you feel like you figured that out yet, or?
Yeah, well, and then too, it was like if because so like I am on TikTok and I post frequently like twice a day and I'm trying to go live once a day and like I'm doing all the things to try and like grow on that platform.
Right.
But without trying too hard. And that was sort of um like I was getting frustrated because I wasn't like growing, but then I had to take a step back and I was like, okay, like clearly there's like a loss of connection because I'm trying too hard. Let me
Yeah.
just, like stop, reel it in, and like remember ABC. And then naturally like things will come. So just like keeping up with content, honestly, nowadays, like people want to see like the rawest, easiest stuff to record. You don't need to be done up all the time. Like,
Mm,
like
yeah.
you don't like need to have the full makeup, the full hair. Like people don't want to see that all the time
Well,
anymore.
it's being authentic, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And just like being more real and like even like going on and sharing like a 15-30 second story, like people like connect with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, content's fun. But
Straight up.
you have to like you can't hate it because I know a lot of artists like it's easy to hate it and sort of like become angry like what the industry has evolved into, but like you
Hmm.
can't hate it. You gotta like roll with it and grow with it and evolve with it or
What
stop.
would you say is kind of the hardest part about the industry?
Um oh, not a lot of people talk about it all the time, but just like, when you're in music, it's very isolating and you do
Mm,
a lot of stuff alone. I've
mm,
never had experience on like a label level, but I mean, a lot of those bigger artists do talk about that same thing. I don't think I've
yeah.
heard it anywhere. Just it's exhausting having to continuously like tap into like your deepest, like darkest emotion and like turn that into music. But at the same time, that's the only way that most artists deal with it, like
Right.
myself. Um, so I think that and it could just feel like a very isolated, lonely industry sometimes. And you have to push through that feeling, I think. And you could also feel like you're running in place and like
Mm,
getting like nowhere, like not like growing at all. Um, and not a lot of people talk about that either. And I think like
right.
because I think it's a very normal thing that everyone feels.
Mm.
Um,
S- So do you ever struggle kind of with like, mental health and things like that? Kind of feeling that isolation?
I wouldn't say I struggle with like I mean, I've never gone to a doctor, so I wouldn't say like I've been formally diagnosed
Right.
with anything.
Right.
I like my personal problem though is like perfectionism.
Mm,
Like I could be like a little OCD about some things.
right.
Um, that can hold me back sometimes where it's like, oh, like I need to wait for this demo to sound perfect before like I send like this cold email out to whoever never. And like sometimes it's just like dumb stuff where it's like just send the freaking email. Like,
Right.
so that's something that I definitely struggle with perfectionism. So
I mean, so does everyone. I mean, it's kind of like a or the people who are motivated. It's kind of like the hard thing is kind of just finding like when's the right time for you or when's the right time to send that email and things like that, like you said. But do you have a good support group like with your family? Like, was your childhood good? You have good parents?
yeah, my family's all like insanely close.
Mm.
Like literally my mom's side in Las Vegas, we all live within 5 minutes of each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? Wow.
We could
I feel
all
like that
walk
would
to
be
each other's house.
that would be concerning and very fun at the same time.
Oh, it is. It was. It
I,
was.
I don't know how I'd feel about that. My nana just judges me on everything in a good way, but like I could tell her she just walked to my house and she'd be like, "What's up with your yard?" That type of thing.
Uh,
Oh no.
funny.
So you love all your family, you're close with your family. Your parents are really supportive of you moving to LA and working on music and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they're supportive of me following what I want to do.
Hmm.
Um, they've been nothing but supportive, like mentally and um like emotionally, I guess.
Yeah.
And they believe in me. And I know like not a lot of people get that. So I'm super,
Mm,
super grateful for that. And
mm.
of course, sometimes they're like, okay, like let's let's make something happen. But like I feel like all parents like worry about their kids like that, you know? So
Absolutely, absolutely. So like, what was like your breakout moment like for you? So where did people like start recognizing you for Noelle, she's on fire, like because you're really popular. I mean, you say 30, 30, what's it, 38,000, 39,000. You're up there.
but
That's all that matters.
30,000. I mean, yeah, it's a comparison game. Like it's
Yeah,
a comparison game, dude. Like
yeah, absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish I had that, but it's okay. But you can keep bragging about your low fall. But like, yeah, what was like your breakout moment where people started recognizing? If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has the tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I just started posting like covers on YouTube and some of them gained traction and got reposted by some other singing and like music accounts. So that's sort of what happened. Honestly, I wouldn't say that I've had my breakout moment yet, but
Mm,
like that will happen soon. I'm just
absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely. And manifest that shit.
working and I'm manifesting it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. I believe in it. Did you find it at all rough growing up in Vegas? For me, so I'll get like my background was interesting because with my dad's job, I moved around everywhere. I was born in Michigan to New York, Washington State, Arizona, middle school in Nebraska. And then I went to Vegas and it was so different because as soon as I entered high school, people were saying like stuff like hella. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And like, I couldn't grasp it. They're like, it means a lot. And I'm like, why? I don't get it. And so like, but my high school that I first went to was Desert Oasis. And it was so like, just so like I want to say a word, but I'm gonna use rough instead of the word ghetto. But it was kind of crazy. Like, how did you? But Vegas is really diverse. Do you find like a lot of support with friends here, or is LA just so much better, like social wise?
Um, Honestly, like growing up, I didn't really have a lot of friends. I did even like through college, like I felt sort of like I didn't like fit in or like find my people because like it's not everyone understands people that want to like go into like an untraditional industry, like
Absolutely.
or something.
Hmm.
Also, like with that, like I don't think a lot of people understand the different streams of income that you can get with music. So it's like a lot
Mm,
of people view it as a hobby, or it's like, okay, like let's break that stigma because like there's so many ways that you can make music and make a not make music, make money, make a career within music.
yeah.
Right. So also like why why are we not like pushing and rooting for each other to follow our dreams and our goals and passions? Like that's so like 2002.
Absolutely.
So I never really felt like I fit in. Like I wasn't one of those people that had like a strong friend group going up or any of that stuff. But I will say like I do have a circle of very good friends that I did make while growing up in Las Vegas.
Mm,
And some of them like are my best friends. So super, super thankful for them. Um, but in LA, like LA has just honestly been a lot easier for me personally, mentally, and socially, just because there's more like-minded people with the same goals and with the same passion, love for music, and that have more of an understanding of the industry.
mm,
So it's been like a little better, but of course, like I miss all my friends in Vegas,
yeah.
and like I appreciate and love them to death too.
I love Vegas. I was just recently thinking of moving just because it's so damn hot. Like this is actually a town.
Oh, don't leave Vegas. Vegas, is great, dude.
No, I love it. I really do. But like, here's my problem. I went to college in Reno, and it was definitely like a college town up there. And
Yeah.
then when I came back to Vegas, is probably the first time I felt like, wow, I think I'm getting old. Like, because the only thing to do is like go to bars, and then all your friends are graduated. No one wants to go to a bar because they're working, and I'm like, am I getting old? Like, there's nothing to do here.
Yeah. I mean, no.
Well, thank you. I needed that. But,
You're
uh,
only old if you like say you're old. Like
right.
my parents will never be like, oh well, we're older. Like that's like
Yeah. I'm 26, but
okay. Okay.
yeah, but I haven't found a gray hair yet that I know of, and I don't know. I get nervous about getting old because like I feel like I won't be able because I have a kid and things, but like I don't know. The podcast is called The Single Father for a reason. I'm
Yeah.
just doing me.
Single father.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's interesting because like people are weird when you have a kid. So I have her 1 week on, 1 week off, but like I'll meet people and they're like, "Oh my god, let me come over and bake cookies with you and her." And I'm like, no." Like like let's get a coffee first. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, it's weird dating when you have a kid, but I speak about it a lot
That's
on my
so
blog.
weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but it's
Or anyone thinks that's like okay to like just meeting you. They're like, oh my gosh, they'll come over and bake cookies. Ew.
yeah, I'm like, what? Like it was so weird. But
You're
that's
like,
just my life.
want my PIN number for my bank too?
Right. I'm like, I got extra closet space. You just want to drop off your
Yeah.
clothes here? Like, what the fuck? But and if that person's listening, I'm sorry. But um, so the other thing I was going to ask you too is, what are some like upcoming projects that you have? Or, like, what are some like passions that you have coming up that like everyone should know about?
So first and foremost, follow my TikTok.
Absolutely. What is it?
What is it? I have to check.
Oh my gosh.
It's playing with changing my username to see if that like helps with like getting on like the right like FYPs and stuff. I've been playing around with it. So
Everyone
yeah.
follow her TikTok. If you
It is like always so, like if you look at my name on everything is Noelle, Noelle, and then Chiodo, Chiodo.
Mm.
But what's the actual handle? No, not that.
I'm gonna
Uh,
add a drum roll at this moment in the podcast right here.
it's Noelle Chiodo, not Cheeto. And then on there, like I post like a
Love it.
bunch of unreleased demos
Mm,
and like unreleased music and songwriting ideas and stuff like that.
right.
And then with new projects, so I just released No Room for Love, and that was in collaboration with an Italian DJ,
Woo.
working the nominal guy. He's very synth pop. I'd say like if you like the song like Midnight Sky Miley Cyrus, Blinding Like the
Mm,
Weekend, then like you'll like this song. It's very in that realm of things. And it was written, I wrote it when I first moved to LA, and we did all of
mm,
this remotely via email during the pandemic. I wrote when I first moved to LA. When I first moved to LA, I hated it.
yeah. Why though?
Hated everything about it. I was alone.
Mm,
Like it was during a pandemic, so it's like I couldn't really see friends. A lot of people I knew here moved out. Like,
yeah. So you live alone in LA?
no, I have a roommate,
Okay, cool. I was
but
like,
like
damn.
still, like, um, I
Yeah,
don't like,
I get what you mean.
do you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
yeah.
oh
It's just different.
yeah, I just felt alone, and then like it was a pandemic, so like I had to be safe with like my family out here, which like I totally like totally understood because I have extended family out here.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you ever get COVID?
I don't think so. Oh, actually, I think I got it before, like before it became like a
That's what some people say. Like, I think I got sick before it became a thing. Yeah.
yeah, because I worked CES, the tech
Mm,
convention, and then after that I got like sick. So
mm, mm.
maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I'll never. Well, I guess I could get the antibodies test.
You could know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that. You ever see that TikTok where they're like, how like what's your body count? And this is I guess we'll never know. And then they close up to their notes and like, I know.
It's so funny.
Well, you could
Yeah.
get the I have a crazy story that I can't say on this podcast of how I found out I got COVID, and I will tell you one day because it's wild, but,
But,
but I'm afraid to say it on the podcast.
right.
But you hated it out in LA when you first got there.
Yeah, I just felt alone. And obviously, like, there were no live shows. So it was hard to meet people. Like, I couldn't see live music. I couldn't play live. So it was like
Mm,
my first. Um, so then that's that song, and that's doing pretty well. And we're gonna have a like piano stripped down version come out
mm.
with that one next month. And then also next month, I am releasing another single, and
Ooh.
it's called Nice Bitch.
Mm,
Um, and it's cute. It's fun. It's like a confident sort of anthem. My
mm,
dogs will be in the music video.
mm.
Dog lovers here.
And by dog, she means me. She's like, you're my
Right.
dog.
It was crazy that like don't watch the music video for me. Watch it for my puppies because they are the stars.
Really? Okay, I'm gonna watch it now.
120%. Like
Send it to me so I can post it on my Instagram. I got you.
I will once it's out.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Did you already shoot it?
Yeah, everything's shot. I'm just finishing up editing for that. I've edited a lot of my own video content. So I'm editing this one,
Mm,
which has been fun, honestly.
yeah, absolutely. So you do pretty much everything on your own. You're like a true full blown entrepreneur music wise because you went out to LA. You're doing it. You're editing your own videos. You're meeting people. You're hustling. Like I admire you.
Well, I mean, not entirely because I don't want to discredit the people that have helped me along the way. Um, I've I mean, like I have had like phenomenal entertainment lawyers help me out with like
Sure.
some contracts before. So grateful for them. I have friends that are in marketing that have given me their 2 cents. Um, I have friends like that graduated with PR degrees that gave me their 2 cents. And then of course, like all like the songwriters and the producers and like the other artists I've worked with.
Yeah.
I do like run my own shit though. As far as like I don't have a manager and like I don't have an agent
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. We're gonna get you one. I'm telling you what, once this podcast is released, you're gonna get hit up. You're gonna get hit up. I got that clout.
But like too, like with like that specifically as far as representation, like I've never tried to rush on anything or like focus on that because like
Mm,
that shouldn't be the focus. Realistically, stuff like that will come naturally because you want
mhm,
people that believe in you and your project as much as you do, or else what's
mm,
the point?
absolutely.
But yeah, I don't want to discredit any of the people I've worked with because I've had some amazing input. And I've worked with some amazing people along the way so far, and I will
Mm,
continue to.
absolutely. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, you would. Absolutely. And the whole Vegas community is behind you, of course. I told some people in Vegas that I was going to be interviewing, and they're like, "Oh hell yeah, Vegas born." No, yeah, we like it. They they
Oh,
they
cool.
they they called you the title of your next song. Just saying.
Oh, that's so funny.
So
Yeah.
I honestly like what just so everyone knows just a tad bit about you before besides the music, like what are some things you like to do for fun outside of music?
Um,
What brings you stress relief?
honestly, like music.
Yeah.
But then during the pandemic, I was like, fuck, I don't have any hobbies
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
outside of like music, which is also my career. So I was like, maybe I should like get a hobby. So I started
Yeah.
taking tennis lessons.
Oh, so you good at tennis?
No, I mean, I'm getting better. I haven't, well, because when everything started opening up, like I like eventually stopped
Right.
taking them, and then like meeting up with people was becoming harder.
Hmm.
But I like definitely like better. Like I could like meet up and like play a game for sure. But I really like doing that, and I love yoga. I think it's so just like relaxing.
Mm,
Um, I am Christian, so I do like going to church. That's sort of a de-stressor for me.
hmm.
And then like hanging out with like friends and family, like I love spending quality time with people.
Yeah.
Um, and I like cooking and baking and eating really good food. So
That's good. That sounds like a Tinder bio right there, like a perfect Tinder bio.
right?
I agree with you though. During the pandemic, I felt like I didn't have a hobby either. I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to cook. I'm just like, I'm gonna learn how to cook for myself and my daughter.
Yeah.
And I did not do that. I ended up ordering off of Freshly and getting meals delivered to me, as well as ordering off Little Spoon, which is amazing. They're like toddler delivery meals. And now, yeah, that's it.
But with Freshly, don't you have to make it still? Is that
No,
part-
that's like or Blue Apron or something like that. Like
Yeah.
Freshly, they're like pre-made meals, and I just put in the microwave. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
they're
See,
delicious though.
try cooking. It's really not that hard.
You think, you think, but you should try it. Like I fucked up pancakes, and I don't know how you like. It's I deny it all the time, but I did. I did do that.
How like box pancakes?
No, it's just like I don't know how you even fuck it up. It was unbelievable. It just said add water, and that's what happened. And then they're just burnt and terrible. Like I don't know what happened.
You probably
So
had the heat too high.
yeah, I'm next time I cook, I'm gonna FaceTime you and hopefully you'll help me out. Like,
Dude, honestly, like what I've been like chefing it up a bit because of TikTok.
oh yeah, like there's a lot of beautiful like cooking ideas on TikTok. I agree with you.
Well, like I love that like it's so short and like to the point.
Yeah.
Like, you know
Yeah.
what? And like they're cooking it and you see what it looks like and they're like, oh, this tastes good. And like all
Yeah.
the comments are like right there, like, oh, this is actually good. Like,
And you're like, I can do that, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when people like confirm that like it tastes good, like that's like a good sign.
I know. So it's like no cap at all. My thing is, it seems like a very like short gratification. It's kind of like an early orgasm. Like because it like after I'm done cooking and eat it, then I'm like, okay, what do I spent all my money on that. Like what do I eat for the rest of the week? Like, I don't know. I bought this beautiful steak that I could. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like cooking or like grocery shopping. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
do it.
I mean, you could definitely grocery shop on a budget for sure.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's not really like the money that's like a huge issue. I think it's
You're
just
like,
like
you're like, it's just everything. It's just
it's
everything.
just everything about it. It's just like getting up and doing it.
Yeah, it does take. I meal prep because I like came to realize like it takes 2 hours. Um,
Yeah,
it takes 2 hours to cook a meal for one. Like it takes the same time to cook for one person as it does for like
right.
10 people. So like you might as well just like have leftovers for the next like 4 days.
I agree with you. I agree. You know what bothers me though? Like real quickly, there's this is a huge issue that I have, and maybe you can speak on it because you're a woman. But the biggest issue I have is I'll meet people like on maybe like Tinder or something like that. And in my head, I'm like, I want to go old fashioned like what I see in the movies. I'm gonna invite you over, I'll cook you something, and we'll have some wine. But it just never goes like that. It's like, well, like everyone wants to like text for like months before you meet up in person or something like that. And it's so lame to me. I'm like,
It's kind of creepy, isn't it?
I think it is. Like, I like to be honest, because you don't really know someone's vibe. And like we can FaceTime, but like I'm busy, but like isn't the whole point to meet up in person and get to know each other? You
Yeah, I
know?
could do that. That would feel like that for me. Like I have used dating apps before, and like whenever I've honestly, like for me, like if there wasn't like any clear intention of like meeting up within like the next like let's say like 2 to like 4 weeks top, then
Yeah.
I'd be like next, like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get to know you like through phone, like text back and forth. That's
No, fuck that. Plus,
yeah,
like you're busy, like like I think a true like busy person isn't on their phone 24/7 unless it's for business. You know what I mean?
yeah. Also, like let's get to the point, just like meet together for coffee and see if like we're vibing.
Exactly. Like there's been a time where I was like, I did wait like that whole I waited like a month, okay, like, we're talking, and then I meet up in coffee, and then she's like totally like not at all who I would date. And I'm like, I just wasted a month of my time. My thumbs wasted their time. They're exhausted,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't know. It's an issue that I have. But I feel like women wouldn't really get that. I feel like guys are just eager to let me see you. Like how's your dating life?
Maybe. I don't know though, because like I've always been like sort of like eager about that stuff.
Yeah. Are you in a relationship right now?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talk too much about my personal life on this sort of stuff. But
Well, perfect. You're dating and you're happy, and that's all that matters.
yeah, it's great. Honestly. Like it's it's great. Well, like I will say, like, didn't meet on an app. I like nothing against meeting on an app. But
Yeah.
honestly, like my name's like I was in a really bad, awful relationship um
Mm.
before this one. But like a while ago.
Hmm.
And after that, I was like the next person that I'm with, like I want to be friends with them before.
Yeah.
Um, and like that's what happened. And it literally was like it's been like the funnest, like healthiest one that I've been in at this
Mm.
life. Because I think like when you're friends with people before like going into a relationship or like going into dating, you can really get to know a person,
Absolutely.
you know? Because when you're dating, you're on like your best behavior for like the first
True.
3 months. Do you know what I mean? You really don't
True.
know a person until after that point, or at least I
Right.
know.
No, I totally agree with you because when you're friends, like your guards down a little bit so you can
Yeah.
show more of yourself. Instead of like dating, you're only showing like an Instagram filter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, you see how the person like from my perspective, like you see how the person talks about other women and like from their
Mm.
perspective too, you see like how like I like talk about like other men and
Mm.
stuff like that. So I don't know, like I think I'm so for like that's like a really good way of doing it because I don't know. I think like when it comes to relationships, I think that yes, like the relationship is actually like great, but I think that you guys still should be like friends first.
Mm,
Which is,
mm,
I have like, I don't know. Not a lot of people like agree with my views on like the like marriage and stuff like that. But like, it's like, I mean, love is always there, but like to some extent, like it does wear off a little bit.
yeah,
You want to look for, in my opinion, like a partner and
right.
that like you're like actual like best friend. So
I agree with you. And I read this like Will Smith was on the cover of GQ and he wrote this article about his relationship with Jada.
mhm.
And I know it's kind of been joked on about, but he's like, dude, that's like my partner. That's like we're life companions. Like we have a mutual understanding with each other that we're together and we, you know, it's like we come together as friends first and we make each other happy, but we're not responsible for each other's happiness. Like we make each other happy and then we bring that happiness to get kind of together, if that makes sense. Does that make sense at all? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. And even too, like with things like, I don't know, like you have to just have a really good understanding of
Mm.
each other, I think.
That's kind of what I want my next relationship to be. It's just like kind of candid conversation about like what do we want this relationship to be?
Yeah.
Like setting up those expectations. But do you feel like it's difficult to be friends with someone first, or is it kind of just like an easy thing?
I,
Like
that's like,
without that sexual tension at first? I mean,
I mean, like I think that's just like different for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that you are in a relationship, and hopefully one day I will change the name of my podcast to The Married Father or something.
Right.
One day. But thank you for just chatting it up with me. This was a great venting session for me and getting to know
Awesome.
you. Yeah, you're so much fun. Like people should go check you out and tell them where to check you out on. Say your TikTok and your Instagram one more time.
Check me out everywhere.
Everywhere, which is
So my
yeah.
Instagram is Noelle Chiodo. That's just my name. I'm sure it will be like in the title or something. So you'll see how to spell it. And then TikTok, just look up Noelle Chiodo and I will pop up. And then make sure you check out my music, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music. It is on everything.
And her address is no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But
right. Don't remember it.
no, thank you so much. You are a bright, amazing person. I know I'm manifesting it for you that great things are coming for you. Your music is awesome. You're awesome. You're a very beautiful, talented young woman. But thank you so much, seriously. And I hope I've made a new friend. That's what I always like to
Yeah,
say.
of course. Yes, of course.
Plus you technically live in Vegas. Next time you're here, drinks on me.
Oh, thank you. It's so sweet.
All right. Well, I will message you after this. But for everyone out there, please follow this woman and to support her in her career. And thank you for venting with me.
Yeah, and shoot me a message if you came from this podcast.
Yes, ma'am. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, I told you that was a really great episode. Thank you, Noelle, for being on. I really appreciate you. I actually I want to reiterate that because I really do appreciate the people who actually come on the show and give me their time, and because it's truly hard to get people, to come on sometimes because whether it be scheduling or communicating through email, I don't always check my email, they don't always check their email, it can't always, share phone numbers and things like that. It's just, oh my gosh, it's hard to get people on sometimes. I'm telling you. I had someone who, how do I say this? The price, because some, little tidbit, some people won't always do it for free. The price someone was quoting me to get them on my show, and it wasn't like, um, man, how do I say this in a way that I'm trying to think of it? Um, I'll put it like this: I was a fan of theirs but it's not like they were Addison Rae or, something like that. I was a fan of theirs and I wanted them on the show. But the price they quoted me for coming on the show was so beyond outrageous that I just it wasn't conceivable. But I was confused. I was confused how they came up with that price because it didn't fit what I said too much. That's all I can say. But anyways, it's hard. It's hard to get people um on the show sometimes, and the people who actually do and come on, I feel like they actually liked being on. And Noelle, and Noelle wasn't very open in sharing a lot of information about herself, but it was the first time we met, and it just requires trust and a bond with each other that just takes time. And hopefully the next time she'll be on the show, we can talk about deeper stuff and get into it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, it was really fun having her on. I love speaking with her, and if you guys want her on again, let her know. Let me know, but let her know. Thank you so much, guys. Like I said earlier, being able to have a place where I can just vent to my people, my pack, is something that's so important and unique to me. And the fact that people want to care about my life as a father, and it's just it means a lot. And but that'll be it for me. I gotta clean some peanut butter and jelly off my walls, and give someone a bath and somehow remind myself to eat, and sleep. Thank you. So thank you guys very much. You can follow us on VentPack Journal on Instagram. You can check out our website, ventpack.org, where we'll be posting some treats on there within the couple months. And you can check out some of our partnerships as well. So that'll be it for me. Thank you guys so much. You have a wonderful day. Not a great day, but a wonderful day. Actually, I don't know which one is better. Is wonderful better than great? Or is great better than wonderful? You just have yourself a good day. How about that? We'll leave it in the middle. All right, have a good one.